Truly, we are so excited to be here. It's always incredibly rushed at the beginning because we have so many beautiful, look at all the students on the stage, right? 7th grade, let's go. I mean, this is great. Let's keep them in orchestra for 8th grade. Yeah. I gotta tell you, 7th grade is a tricky little thing of every single year, and every teacher, I think, in our district and others can say this, 7th grade is a tricky thing. They just get to that point where they're really playing at the end of 6th grade, you know, and then they take a summer off, and then they come back, and you have to just sort of rebuild that and pull them back up, and they're doing it. And I'm so excited. I'm actually getting chills. I get so excited. Your kids are amazing. Thank you so much for letting me work with them every other day. And 8th grade, same, letting me work with them every day. So next year, it's everyday classes. It's truly amazing what more we can do and how much more music and fun it can be. But I just wanted to thank you all for being here. This is, of course, our 7th grade. We're ending with Medieval Kings. And I, again, thank you for everything you do. Can't do microphones.
Thank you. hello.
Eighth grade in front of you here. I'm so excited for our eighth graders this year, as I loved our eighth graders last year. I can't wait to hear you guys, by the way. It's going to be really fun. Super, super, super fun to hear everybody progress every year. So as you can tell, that more notes are being played and faster and a lot more different keys and a lot is happening, and we're growing as musicians, and it'll be exciting to hear at each concert how much better we become. But thank you so much for being here. Our favorite song is the last one. It is Ukrainian Bell Carol, and honestly, I would say almost everybody, it's like this is our favorite song. So we hope you enjoy it.
Thank you again. It's so fun to get to hear our future Cardinals perform tonight. These are the next students that you're going to hear now are the high school students. But these students, a year from now, some of these will be up here doing just like this. It was fun to hear this. Last year, 7th grade did a lot of the same songs. And now you can hear the level of growth that they have now in 8th grade and where they're playing at this point. So it's very exciting to see that level of growth each year too. Because I don't get to see them every day. You know, I get to see them like once a year. That's about it, maybe twice a year. Right. So a little bit more about the high school program. There's some notes in the program as well for those parents and students. There's in the program, you'll be able to see this as well. We've got 3 orchestras, so this is level 1. Now, all the students this year are in 9th grade, but we've had some 10th graders in this group in the past, and even some 11th graders when we've had students that join the program. Maybe they weren't in the middle school and they join in high school, because we have a beginning orchestra program as well that we offer. And so students can sort of gateway in. And we do have one student who is in the beginning class who's actually joined up here. I won't tell you who they are. You probably can't tell because they're doing a great job. And so we do sort of look at trying to include different students and try to do a level. There's also some students who auditioned from this who are 9th graders who are going to be in the next group, the symphonic group, the next group, and that they get to audition to be a part of that. So 8th graders, if you have some advanced players, you don't have to go in the 9th grade orchestra. That's why we don't call it 9th grade. You could go into level 2 orchestra, which is the one you're going to hear after this. And so those are some opportunities to some of the students here. We diversify a little bit more into the program. So we have one more song for you from this set, and then, which is one of our favorites. We're going to rock out, right? All right. So I'm just going to say a couple of words before we get to the next group here. I see a lot of most of you in place. Before we get tuning up here. So this is just the start of the Coon Rapids High School performances. You probably see in the program, the last page, there's a list of a lot of upcoming things. So we do this decorations because we have this week, I think, a total of 5 performances, and then next week there's another like 5 or 6 between all the different programs here. So the one Thursday, I hope that you'll come back for it, is our Traditions Concert. We call it the Traditions Concert. It's been a tradition for over 30 years, probably long before I was here. I have not been here 30 years. I might look like it, but I'm not. I'm that old. But so they've been doing that, and it's one of my favorite concerts of the year. We join together with the band, the orchestra, the choir. There's about 8 different performing ensembles in that concert, and it's a concert in the round. So this balcony up here, the choirs are up here, the jazz band's over there, the orchestra's here, the band's over there, and we do the music just goes around and there's no applause until the very end. It just goes from piece to piece to piece. If you haven't been to see that, you should come. That is a pivotal concert. Tickets sell out quickly, so go online. Same thing through GoFan. Sorry there's no discounts on that one, but I'd love to have you come back for that. And then the following week is the holiday play. They're doing Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe this year by C.S. Lewis, if you know that one. And that one they do one evening performance, and then they do a bunch of daytime ones for elementary schools, and they bring a lot of elementary schools in for that. And they love seeing our theater program here perform. It's a lot of fun, and they really engage with the students. So it'd be fun for all ages. If you got younger brothers and sisters you didn't bring with you tonight, that would be a good one to bring them to. So thank you. Recognize that one. So they're going to be a little bit of back and forth, the violin sections. Usually, I didn't do this with the ninth grade. It was just crazy. We went through so many different options of programming, and I tried to balance first and second violins. Well, we ended up with the same group got all three pieces that they have first violin on, but that's okay. We read through like 6 or 7 different, oops. Oh, sorry, okay. So this group, we did end up rotating, so you're going to see them switching around. You also notice we use a little bit of electric bass in every concert, so the ones from the level 1 and level 2 tonight, and then level 3 honors orchestra is playing the one on Thursday. They're all using some sort of like rock electric instruments. The other one on Thursday also has drum set and electric guitar too. There's a big electric guitar solo. If you're familiar with Trans-Siberian Orchestra, we're doing one of their pieces, so they're going to rock out over there. So it'd be fun. And I said level 3 honors. I just got to throw this in here real quick. Sorry, but the students in the high school get an honors credit for being in the level 3 orchestra, which is an honors class. So that's a little GPA boost. And for an A instead of a 4.0, they get a 4.3. Ooh. So just a heads up. So they do have some options like that, not just in orchestra, but in band and choir as well. So we should get to the next song. up, the chaos begins. The fun begins. Frosty the Snowman. Well, they're getting to their places. That last one is about a snow day. And if you hear the sort of break in the middle, it's when it's like they wake up the next morning and go, am I going to have school today? And they found out there's another day of snow day. They got 2 in a row. So anyway, that's the joy of the piece. That's supposed to be like a celebration of snow days, which we haven't had yet, but we've been getting close, right? We're getting close. Getting close. By the way, that was the first composition from that composer that got published. He just got published last year, and he's never had anything published before. He's just a high school teacher like me. Just happened to write something for his kids, and everyone goes, that's really cool, you should publish that. Yeah, so a cool piece. Anyway. And just to explain the holes in the orchestra. So the 7th grade choir ended up having their concert tonight, too. So about 15 of the 7th graders are in the choir and in orchestra. So they're splitting their time. We lost them for the Frosty, but we figured we had enough people playing Frosty, we'd be okay. And I want a special thank you to Miss Akebu for her wonderful work getting these kids. These 9th graders wouldn't be where they were if it wasn't for her. So I want a big thank you to her. And Miss Lannis, if you know Miss Lannis, make sure, she's not here, but you want to thank her too. Okay? Have a good night. Thank you. I hope to see you back for some more shows later this week.